Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
What are those 7 types of wisdom? First type of wisdom is realization of what is to be avoided. That is called He Shunya state. Second type of wisdom is awareness of the means for the removal of the suffering. That is He Hetu Chin state. Third state is awareness of spiritual evolution. That is Prapya Prapt state. Fourth type of pragya or fourth state of pragya is awareness of fulfillment and accomplishment. That is Chikirarsha Shunya state. Fifth type of wisdom is awareness of the purpose of experience and liberation. That is called Chitta Sattva Kritarshasthatha. The sixth is Gun Leenata. That is means dissolving of the gunas, awareness of the fulfillment of the work of gunas. So, you are not entangled, you are not engulfed or enslaved of gunas. And seventh is awareness of one's own self, Atmasthiti. That is in the Vedantic tradition called Brahmagyan, in the Sankhya tradition it is called Kaivalya. In the Bhakti tradition it is called Mukti or living with your deity. Different traditions call this state in different terms, and pathways of achieving those states are also different. In yoga we call it Kaivalya, and that is in the Veda Bhashya of Patanjali Yoga Sutra is called Atmasthiti. These are the 7 types of wisdom. These wisdom are available to us. We all have all of these in some degree. So, it is not about presence or absence of these wisdom. These are there in all of us in some degree. When we are able to use these more often, when we are able to operate mostly on these wisdom, then we can say that we have come to the maturity of these wisdom. For example, realization of what is to be avoided. That is related to how much food we should eat, how much sense indulgence we should allow ourselves, where we need to put in effort, what we should avoid in our behavior. All that is He Shunya state. We all have there in us to some degree. Awareness of the means of removal. How I can get rid of my suffering, how I can get rid of my dysfunctionality. All of us have some idea, some notion, some insight how I can become more functional, how I can become more wise, how I can become more intelligent, how I can become more productive. We all know to at least to some degree about it. So, that is He Hetu Chin state, how I can get rid of my dysfunctionality. We all have that to some degree. Awareness of spiritual evolution. What can make me the best version of myself? What is the most meaningful thing to me? What can make me very productive executive, excellent human being or a member of community? We all have some idea about it. So, we also have Prapya Prapta state. So, that is also there in some degrees. Fourth is the achievement and accomplishment. If you see the definition of flourishing, that is reflected in the acronym PARMA. That is positive emotion, positive achievement, positive relationships. In the PARMA, which is the reflection of flourishing, and we have talked about it in the earlier sessions, there is a component called sense of positive achievement. What can give me sense of fulfillment? In the Maslow's need hierarchy, it is related to actualization. So, we all have some element, some degree of actualization there, We all know what gives us deepest fulfillment, what gives us sense of positive, most meaningful accomplishment. So, we all know that at least to some degree. So, we all have these wisdoms with us. With the practice of yoga, we can bring clarity and we get the energy and power to operate on this wisdom. In the yogic tradition and other traditions as well, we talk about three types of Shakti: Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Ichha Shakti is power of will. How much I have that willingness to do or accomplish or to engage myself for the positive efforts in life. That is Ichha Shakti. Second is Jnana Shakti. How much I know about it. We discussed Tattvava Bodh in the previous sessions. That is Jnana Shakti. Knowing about what is worth accomplishing, what is worth pursuing, that is Jnana Shakti. And Kriya Shakti is actually applying that in my behavior, in my transactions, in the day-to-day life. That is Kriya Shakti. Most of us have Ichha Shakti. Some of us have more Jnana Shakti. What distinguishes more successful from the average successful or less successful people is Kriya Shakti. Those who are able to implement, those who are able to do according to their Ichha Shakti and Jnana Shakti, they become most successful. In the wisdom also this logic applies. Those who have this wisdom only at cognitive level, they will operate with certain level of functionality, they will operate at certain level of productivity, but those who constantly work on refining this wisdom and apply that wisdom in their behavior and in their transactions, they can become more successful, they can become more joyful in their life. When my mind is interaction in terms of its social interaction, so that is reflected in the 33rd sutra of Yoga Sutra, which says that Maitri Karuna Mudita Pekchanam Sukha Dukha Punya Punya Vishyanam Bhavanatta Chitta Prasadanam. In relation to happiness, misery, virtue and vice, that means the interaction with the people who have experience of happiness, misery, virtue and vice, by cultivating attitudes, friendliness, compassion, gladness and indifference respectively, the mind becomes purified and peaceful. A yogi is the one who operates from the space of friendliness with the happy people. When they look happiness around themselves, they do not feel jealousy, they do not feel inferiority, they become friendly with the happiness when they see around that. People who are miserable, they do not develop an aversion towards them. Instead of that, they develop compassion towards them, and that arises from the reflection that when I have pain, when I have misery, how do I feel? Similarly, that person also might be feeling, and that reflection result into emergence of empathy and then compassion. Similarly, when yogis see a virtuous person or a talented person, when they look at talent around them, they do not develop irsha, they do not develop jealousy, they do not try to impose negativity in the virtues. Instead of that, they enjoy seeing the talent, they appreciate the talent, and that is that what we call mudita, the great quality of mudita, which is gladness towards virtues and talent. And when they come across vice, human weaknesses, they do not have a great animosity, they try to avoid that. Not that yogi try to avoid the vice when they look around wise, but it is more like what Jesus Christ said, and Mahatma Gandhi also said it, said and wrote about it many times. Don't have dislike to your enemy, but you have to have dislike to the wrong things it is doing. So, in the same way, yogi developed a kind of upeksha at the personal level, but also does whatever is required to establish or follow dharma when they see vices or human weaknesses around themselves.